All right, hello and welcome to LP's Fantasy Football Show. I am Dagan LP, here with another episode here today where we're going to be drafting a Best Ball Mania 3 team. My last video that just went up, I went over my ADP draft board, which I will be using here today to make some of my selections, as well as drafted Best Ball Mania 3 team. I think I said I was going to slow it down a little bit on Best Ball Mania 3, but hey, here we are again with another selection. And here we are again with an early selection. We pick at the 1-4. I think I'm going to try to deploy the same type of strategy because, as I did on the last draft, because I think there is some value there. And just because it didn't work last time doesn't mean it can't possibly work this time. What we're going to do here is we're going to hope for, as Christian McCaffrey goes one-on-one, we're going to hope for a Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow stack paired with some other selections here. Okay, so Cooper Kupp goes. We're going to take Jamar Chase. Let's just put the pressure on. Picture going fast. So we lucked out here at 104, getting the first player that we want. Next plan is probably going, as I've explained before, we're going after Barkley here, and we get an earlier shot at Barkley than we typically do. And at my third pick, I have options. Like if I wanted to go running back, I could go a guy like Javonte, maybe a guy like AJ Brown falls. Maybe I get my shot at Pitts if I really wanted to, because I'd be taking him early. So I'm really liking the 104 position so far as we get into drafts. And through this offseason, that really hasn't changed that much. I used to like 103. I now like 104, 105. I like anywhere in there. I like those selections a lot. I'll pull up the draft board here. Travis Kelce goes at the 8th overall spot. That's definitely a little bit interesting. But I definitely see the upside in that as well, or I like the build. I don't think that's too early for Travis Kelce necessarily. Najee Harris is going later and later. This is one of the first drafts where I've seen Derrick Henry go as the RB3. That is typically reserved for Austin Eckler these days. I am curious as to what is going to happen here on the 1-2 turn. This guy has 2 selections coming up, and he has some options. Dalvin Cook is kind of nice here. He goes CeeDee Lamb, obviously going the wide receiver route. I'm okay with that there. I get, either way, whatever. You get Dalvin Cook, CeeDee Lamb. I would have thought about maybe Mark Andrews there because you missed out on Kelce. But other guys, are probably getting Andrews there or getting Kelce where that guy picked at anyways. We're actually only 5 picks away. And see, this is why I kind of like the 104. And then, 104, 105, all of a sudden your comeback is just like way quicker. Yeah, there's some stuff in between, a longer turnaround on the opposite end, right? At the 2-3 turn, but like, come on, like 6 selections, and like I feel like all of a sudden we're getting back pretty soon here. Running backs are really going heavy in the second round. I still feel confident that like I can get Jamar Chase, and I have a really good shot at Saquon Barkley here, and like I can I'd still be taking a better running back than what these guys are taking here. Possibly, maybe he's more in this area, but this guy could add Kelce and Andrews. It'd be pretty interesting. I'm also thinking about Mike Evans here if he falls. I feel like I jinx myself all the time. I'm not saying anything, but you see it on the screen. We're hoping for it. Wow. Okay, so my guy gets taken. So here's another example of just you can have a good plan, but it doesn't mean that it's going to work out the way you want it to. Um, it just sucked because the last one got ruined thanks to like Joe Burrow getting taken way above ADP. And I would have taken Barkley there if I had the 105. Like I would have been taking him. You know, you're taking him 2 picks ahead of ADP. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And he's definitely better than I think some of those other players, except for maybe the guy I just took. Obviously, selection bias there. I am interested in some of these running backs if they fall to me. Like if Fournette or Chubb or Javonte falls to me, I'm really tempted to go them. But at the same time, Kyle Pitts is very interesting to me. I would be picking at 28 and then again at 45. So if Darren Waller fell a few picks, that's possible. Okay, so here we are again. Crap, I have no idea who to take. Kind of do want Kyle Pitts. This is a tough one for me. The running back seems pretty interesting. We're picking at 28. Like Fournette. I think I'm just going to do this, though. Because, you know, I like Waller. I just want the elite tight ends. One of the elite tight ends. And, you know, I got Kyle Pitts last year, and he was okay. I got him in my home league, so he was okay. I had him in a few spots at on in best ball drafts, but he was going about this round last year, and we were talking about how egregious the price was for Kyle Pitts, and here he is again getting taken in the third round, and like people are excited for it. And yeah, we've seen it with Kyle Pitts, like we really like it, but like, what is this offense going to be like? I'm literally talking down on a guy I just took, but what is this offense going to look like in Atlanta? I think people are excited about Kyle Pitts and are excited about Drake London. Drake London is going as the number one wide receiver, or number one rookie wide receiver in these best ball drafts, and I expect to be the first rookie wide receiver taken in all drafts, or in most drafts, leading up to the start of the season. But man, Matt Ryan was having trouble last year with this offensive line. What is a quarterback who's not as cerebral as Matt Ryan supposed to do? Yeah, he can move around a little bit, but like, if the guys are already on top of him before he even has a chance to move around, and Kyle Pitts got things somewhat done last year, and yeah, he gets a year two leap here, but the situation has gotten worse. The only thing that's gotten better is the fact that Drake London is now on the roster, and that definitely helps out Kyle Pitts. There's no Calvin Ridley, so Kyle Pitts could still be the number one option in this offense. I think there's a lot of reasons not to like Kyle Pitts, but we are also trying to win tons of money here, and tight end does seem deeper to me, but like less top heavy, deeper but flatter. Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess there's just more to choose from. I think there are 12-ish legit tight end options. And I used to think that pretty regularly, and maybe it's just because I feel like I can find 12, but I think there are 12 this year, legit ones, that I'd be okay with drafting. Maybe actually, yeah, literally 12. So, while I don't think I don't think Kittle's going to be as good, maybe like there's a shot Kittle's as good, like elite. I think the only two guys are probably going to be Andrews and Kelsey. And so, like, if we're chasing elite ceilings or elite scoring from the tight end position, I'll take the guy that's basically a wide receiver. Um, that's kind of my viewpoint on it right now, and how I'm basically justifying a third round ADP for um, a tight end that's going to be on a bad offense. We're definitely going wide receiver heavy here. This is obviously a zero RB team. We are waiting for 52. Where does Burrow go? Burrow go. Dude, we just keep getting sniped. These players that I want keep going higher and higher, and I bet you their ADPs are going to be up here somewhere. Burrow is in the 6th round, and who has Higgins? Who has Higgins? So if he doesn't take him, I'd be down to take him. Metcalf or Breece Hall, I think, is who I'm going to go here. We just keep getting sniped. Like, I don't know what else to do. We're gonna go Breece Hall. Man, I do not love this, but I'm doing it. Keep getting sniped. That's twice already. Possibly even 3. Who was a? No one really. Wide receivers went Saquon, man. Then just run on running backs afterwards. Sniped on Robinson and Barkley, 2 guys that I think really make my Best Ball Mania 3 team really, really good. If I have Barkley instead of AJ, and Robinson, I would feel so much better. Basically, Barkley and Robinson versus Breece Hall and AJ Brown. It's rough out here today. So this is the problem sometimes, is you've got, $25 per draft, and I really do like my process so far, or my thoughts, and like how I'm kind of picturing building the perfect draft to me. But the process is not necessarily just going after guys that I like. I mean, there are guys that I like, but it's just, especially at the prices, that's what I'm trying to really stick to. Is I've been thinking about and going back and forth about releasing a rankings video. Lamar Jackson goes. Do I just go Mahomes, or do I play for the W? Okay, the Bengals are playing the Bills. We've got Bateman here that we could draft. I'm not sure there's much else we could do here. Bateman's going at 53. We'd be taking him at 52. Dobbins is definitely interesting, but we're going to go Bateman. So I've been going back and forth in, doing a rankings video. I do have technically rankings. I guess I could talk about those a little bit. Let's see if I can't get here somewhere. Google Keep. If you want to make your own rankings, I think Google Keep is, I never really knew about it before until I just randomly searched up something, like a list maker or something, and Google Keep came up. And so at the beginning of the year, when I was drafting all the way back in like February, March, I'm someone who isn't afraid to draft really, really early, because I think there's just like some extreme value in those drafts. For example, you could be getting Saquon Barkley in the 5th round. Like, that's how Allen Robinson was going in the 8th, the 7th, at like pick 80 something. And like, he wasn't signed by the Rams yet, but like, we knew he was a free agent, and I believed Robinson, was still good. So he was a guy I was high on. And so some of these guys I'm still high on, like Barkley and Robinson, and I just don't think their value has really corrected all the way. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there for sure with Barkley, and a little bit more with Robinson. And I've kind of detailed before how both Barkley and Robinson are no longer a money play for me. But with Allen Robinson's positional ADP, I think he's still a great value. Same thing with Barkley. You basically getting him at what I think is good cost, and Robinson just a little bit below cost, especially in terms of ADP, positional ADP. So something I started with this year was ranking the best players regardless of team, regardless of context. So, guys who I thought were the best of the best. I know there's a lot of love for the young guys like Jefferson and Chase here, but you can see I have Diggs and Hill and Adams above those guys. It's pretty close there. So I tried to rank those first because, especially for if you rank it that way, when so much is up in the air, early on in the off season, you can identify like extreme value. That's how you like identify Barkley as, a 5th round value, and you've got him like at least top 10. Like he shouldn't have been going in the 5th round. And what we knew was Brian Dable was the head coach. And they had 2 first round draft picks, 2 top 10 first round draft picks. So, excuse me. So I'm not even going to cue him because I know I'm going to get sniped. Christian Kirk in the 6th round. With some of these wide receivers on the board. Oh, my God. I can't believe I'm going to get either one of these guys. Okay, Hurts goes. I'm taking Burrow. Okay, we still got the number 1 stack possible. Still got the number 1 stack. I like Elijah Mitchell here. I like AJ Dillon here. Treylon Burks, CEH, Ayuk. I think we're going to go running back here. If it falls that way. So as I was saying, ranking players as they are, as I, at their elite. So for example, like for quarterbacks, I basically, how do you rank these guys out of context? And that's very difficult to do, even if you do watch film. You're going to have your own personal opinions and such. And I'm not saying I watch film in any sense of the word. Damn, Elijah Mitchell and AJ Dillon go. I think we're going CEH. This is tough. Yeah, I think I'm going CEH here. Oh, this guy. What is going on with this draft, bro? CEH. I'm okay with it. I ain't mad at it, honestly. So what I tried to do in trying to rank these guys separate from their context is actually put them all into the same context. So for me, I to rank these quarterbacks in a vacuum, I decided how good would they be, and I thought about how good would they be if they were on the Rams instead of Matthew Stafford. Why so? Because I think Sean McVay is a fantastic offensive mind, probably the best in the NFL. Probably. It's close. But the offensive line was good, and the weapons are really good. I just, sure, you could talk about Andy Reid, fine, but I just imagine the Rams offense and how explosive they were, especially winning the Super Bowl. And so these are some of the rankings that I got. I'm not afraid to rank guys that I've seen do it before higher than guys who I think would be better in fantasy. And especially these top 6 guys for me, 7 guys for me, I'm nitpicking in a lot of places. I do have Russell Wilson very high, and at least there. Running back, I kind of decided, who would be the best, like big back and who would be the best pass catching back, and somewhere in between. Wide receivers, I thought about who would be the best wide receiver to have Aaron Rodgers throw the ball to. Um, how good would they be if Rodgers was their quarterback, so to speak? Tight ends, I kind of just ranked based off of slim knowledge. Um, I then adjusted those rankings as we got, as the free agency finished and the draft finished, and I kind of developed these here, at least some initial stuff. And I think it's a great way to ground your rankings, because at some point, like, we understand that situations change. Maybe they don't change drastically enough um, where it's going to make a big difference. But if this offseason has proved anything, like, the trade deadline could be huge, and all of a sudden values change. And so we don't want to drift too far away from. I think it's okay to definitely drift away from these QB rankings or any of these rankings in a vacuum, simply because it's no longer in a vacuum, right? It's based in the context that they have, and how does that translate to fantasy points. But at some point, those players are of value. And so we don't want to have someone that we have like in our top 5, like outside the top 20. That sounds ridiculous. Treylon Burks is all in. Oh, I'll take it. I kind of don't care. I'm picking at 93 and then again at 100. And I feel good about getting Olave or Wilson. Oh, Burks goes. Son of a gun. Or Claypool. I'm going to lose my mind. Whoops. Drop my cup. See, Sky Moore. Garrett Wilson going before Sky Moore makes a ton of sense. What's up with this? Russell Wilson's ADP is. We're at pick 93, and he goes at pick 70. Did I miss something? I'm going Olave. I don't care how good Kadarius Toney is. Do I care how good Kadarius Toney is? So I have made rankings here, obviously, some of which are pretty grounded in this, as well as I think they're extremely grounded in ADP, except for a few different examples. But I'll tell you one thing I'm not doing, and I'm not sure how I'll do this in my home league yet. I might just forego ADP a little bit in my home league and just go based off my rankings, because I do think there are going to be guys that are. This is one of the weirdest drafts I've ever been in. Guys are going 20 picks ahead and after ADP. It is strange. Strange indeed. I feel good about my team. Like, I ain't mad. But if Russell Wilson is still here, like, am I going Russell Wilson? How come Trey Lance isn't going? Like, what is happening? Claypool's here too. Oof, Claypool is tempting here. It is the 9th round. We are picking here. We're getting Lance at a pretty good discount, are we not? Where's Lance? Lance. Trey Lance, way there. Do we want Claypool? I'm just going to take Trey Lance. I know that's bad, but I'm just going to take the rushing quarterback. This draft is crazy. Russell Wilson is 30 picks past. There he goes. This guy doesn't even have a Denver player. Like, what is going on? Look at this team. This guy took a value in Treylon Burks too. Good for him. So I have these rankings here. I'm not sure how much they actually matter to me, because especially in these best ball tournaments, I'm literally just drafting based on this. And I kind of want to do the same for my home leagues, but I think it's just somewhere in between. Oof, forgot why I was talking about rankings in the first place. Oh, I thought about doing a ranking show. I don't know. Okay, let's look at our draft real quick. I'm not sure how I like Trey Lance there, but I'm not super mad at it. If we can get Gronk here, we are dancing, and we're not touching tight end or quarterback again for the rest of the draft. Two guys with 0 tight ends in front of me. This guy, A. Bonilla, who got Barkley, is going to snipe me for sure. I can feel it. Trying to come up with backups here just in case we get sniped. Landry is kind of interesting. 6 picks away. We're picking at 117 and then 124. This guy already has 2 tight ends. Kelsey and Waller. Interesting. Carr. And he goes Tua. I'm not mad at it, Not mad at it. This guy, for sure. Okay, he took a quarterback. Don't think he needed to. Don't do it, please. This guy's had Brady and he didn't go freaking Gronk. That is the worst mistake of his life. Oh, man, I feel for that guy. Well, I don't feel for him. Like, what is he doing? He could have won, I feel like. Look at his team. Henry, Chubb, Dobbins, Brady, Evans, Robinson, Smith. Like, this team is bona fide. If he just took Gronkowski right there, wow. And he's behind ADP. I feel like I should have taken Ramondre. Yeah. I only have 2 running backs. I do not like that. Damian Pierce isn't. Yeah, I think I should have taken Ramondre. We got to have both those guys pay off pretty hard if we want this team to do well. Let's see, 140s. Yeah, like I'm okay with waiting. Like if Tim Patrick doesn't go here, I'm thinking about that. Reverse stack with Crowder. That might be the option here. And then we'll take Jahan Dotson on the way back. So does that mean we go running back here with Damian Pierce? They went out and got a couple of offensive linemen. We know Madison is good and could have contingency value. Pierce's ADP has really fallen. Whew. I just kind of froze. I'm okay with it. Madison or Pierce didn't really matter to me. Madison as my running back 3 though is scary. Maybe should have went Crowder. I don't know. Crowder gets you that week 17 stack, but I feel like we could be chilling with some of these players just on their own. Wow, Darrell Henderson goes. There's a chance I could get Damian Pierce the way this draft has been going. Justin Fields, I bet you falls really far. Uh, I bet Gesicki does. I'm kind of interested in this if it comes back to me. And this. And this. We need wide receivers to look at too. Devontae Parker or Jacoby Myers. If Jameson Williams falls, we like that a lot. Okay, we want this first. Unless Damian Pierce somehow makes it to us. We're going to be picking at 141. There is a shot that Dotson falls, Hines falls. I'll for sure have a chance at Carter. And if Jameson Williams falls, I might scoop that up real quick. Damn, this guy did it. Good for him. Lot of great wide receivers there. Dak, and he's got CD. I like that guy's draft a lot. Yeah. There goes Dotson, man. Dotson. Craziness. Okay, so there goes Nyheim Hines. Oh, please, man. I'm begging. Oh, God, dude. Every single round. Good thing he didn't snipe freaking Jacoby Myers. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to do this. The fact that he didn't take Gronk is good, I guess. All these guys went just before me. It's really starting to get rough in terms of my former money plays. It might be time to identify some new ones, which I've been trying to do, and maybe I've been just become too blinded by my past thinking. But I do think things have shifted. Like if I'm running out of money plays, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. This was a weird draft. Our next pick should be Gus Edwards. What? 148. We pick again at 165. Ooh, yeah, there's a chance we get Gus Edwards. We're going Devontae Parker or Van Jefferson here. There goes Van Jefferson. So we will go Devontae Parker. Yikes. Okay, I guess. Not in love with that. Should I have preferred KJ Osborne or Josh Palmer? Hard to say. Hard to say. It's really hard. I mean, this was a weird draft. It's really hard for me to identify some different money plays, though. I'm kind of back onto this Hunt, and is honestly somebody I wish I had more of. Let's go check out. Let's look at this real quick. Let's see. Oh, genius. What's my exposure looking like? Do I have Hunt in any Best Ball Mania 3? Okay. So I've got him with 1. Robinson. Oh, this is all drafts. Yeah, I don't have as much Hunt as I'd want. Um, Hunt went really early, but this is something I wish I was on sooner. But Hunt is starting to, like, someone was talking about recently. Hunt was going to be uh, a cut from the team. Don't be surprised if that happens. And I don't understand that. Like, what Hunt brings to the table, I think, is so unmatched in the NFL for the Browns. But another thing happened today. I just don't remember what it was. Uh, he's it could be where Hunt is on his way out, and if Hunt ends up in the right spot, Hunt could be going here, like in the 6th round. And we want that value now. And even if he doesn't, let's say he doesn't leave the Browns, I think he could easily pay off this 9th round ADP. We've seen him be not only a top 24 running back, but a top 12 running back. And right now he's being drafted as the running back 32. Maybe people are worried about Deshaun Watson not playing, but I don't know. I feel like Jacoby's going to be able to hit Kareem Hunt. Okay, so we're hoping for one of these two. We pick at 165 and 172. There is a chance we could get both of them. What does running back look like? There's only 2 left, and the guys behind me, they kind of need one. I really like this Gus Edwards spot here, though. And he's a money play for me. Okay, Alec Pierce goes, right? He's gone? Okay, so we're taking Gus Edwards. Boom. Okay, we might not even have to take a running back after that. Don't know what to do about wide receiver here, though. It is rough out here. These wide receivers are trash. Curtis Samuel, Will Fuller, Kendrick Bourne, Julio Jones, Nico Collins, Brian Edwards, Romeo Doug. Like, this is not good. See, this is why, like, I don't want to. I'm okay. I should have just went harder on wide receiver. And I feel like I would have felt okay taking like running backs later. It's good to remember this. I pick at 172. I don't like anything here. I don't want any quarterbacks. I don't want any running tight ends. Okay, I pick at 172, and then I pick again at 189. I'm just gonna take Julio. I don't care. Screw you. I know it's a reach, but don't care. I do need more wide receivers, though. This is bad. This is really bad. We do have 2 elite ones. We're hoping this one really hits. I think we could really see some positive things with Gronk and Pitts. I feel really strongly about quarterback scoring. Running back's going to be an issue. I think. We'll see how it goes. Madison and Edwards are for sure starting week 10. Edwards-Helaire, sorry. I do like that I have Chase and Brown. I'm not super mad about that. I do wish I had maybe someone else other than Breece Hall, like at running back, but that means I wouldn't have Pitts. Like, it's just really hard to say. I think the mistake was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think that's the shift in the draft. In the 7th round, I could have taken like Drake London or Amon-Ra or Hunter Renfrow. Ayuk was already taken. And wide receivers just kind of fell off after that. Maybe it also could have been, instead of Trey Lance, Chase Claypool. That would make me feel really, really good. And I could be stacking like just a random quarterback. See, I mean, I think I'll have an advantage at quarterback. I think I have the 2 best, the best. Oh, wow, this guy has Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. That's a pretty good combination there, but I've got Lance and Burrow, and I've spent it for way cheaper. I'm okay with that. and how that's played out so far. So I do feel strongly about quarterback. The only issue is like if you're going to invest into this to the best stack in the NFL, like Chase and Burrow, you should probably just be assuming Burrow is your guy and like don't really need to secure yourself with like another elite quarterback option. Like you could go like a quarterback two, especially because they're falling so hard. So I guess CEH isn't the problem. The problem is Trey Lance. The only issue was Trey Lance was like falling, and so I figured there, that it could, it would be a good idea to take him, but I obviously should not have. This is where if I could have a do over, this is probably where it would be at Chase Claypool, or at Trey Lance, and then instead of taking Trey Lance, taking Chase Claypool. You live and you learn. I wish that lesson didn't cost me $25. But this team could still win. This team could still win. But probably not. The rest of the draft here, I think, is going to be dedicated to wide receivers. Honestly, like I could go one more running back. I'm actually not against that. Just getting as much contingency value as I can, I guess. I'm big on Hassan Haskins or Deontay Foreman. Curtis Samuel's about to fall a whole round, so I might just take him here. Possibly even Bryan Edwards. See, like I could be taking Bryan Edwards. I'd have Kyle Pitts, and then like I could be taking like Desmond Ridder as my last pick, and I still feel like I'd be okay with Joe Burrow as my only quarterback. I don't want to take three quarterbacks now. I do like the idea of having 2 and 2, but I think what needs to happen is you need to spend it on tight end, elite, not elite, but semi-elite capital on tight end. But like this one, I spent a 3rd round and a 10th, if that. I got Gronk in the 10th round. Whereas for my quarterbacks, I spent a 6th and something else, like a 9th. But still, like I don't need this because the scoring is so close for quarterbacks. Curtis Samuel, like Will Fuller, like his ADP could rise, but like, do we even care? I'm gonna do this, I guess, and take 2 wide receivers with my last 2 picks. I'm definitely going Kyle Phillips for sure. Doing it again. What? We want guys that are going to jump up in ADP, possibly. Scotty Miller is kind of interesting to me. Let's see who else we got here. How many wide receivers in my undrafted free agents? Oh, Anthony Schwartz. I'm going to do that. Anthony Schwartz. That is Schwartz. There he is. That is Will Fuller right now, except he's cheaper. And he's actually on a team. And he, so far, is unknown to be injury prone, where we know the other guy is injury prone. Zach Wilson is falling so far. 24 spots. Like, this is just not fair. How am I picking again? Okay, here I am. 196. Do I like it? Bryan Edwards, Romeo Dubs. Taking Anthony Schwartz. They got Cooper, they got DPJ, and they got Schwartz. Schwartz is the guy who stretches the field. Granted, they do not have a quarterback that can throw the ball. But if Deshaun Watson plays, I do not think he will. I also kind of don't want him to. Man, I was all in on this Browns winning the Super Bowl next year, and like Deshaun Watson now is their quarterback. Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback they've probably ever had, but he's also probably one of the worst human beings they've ever had. And they had OJ, didn't they? No, that's Jim Brown. OJ was on the Bills. I don't know. It's history. I know I should know it, but come on. We've got one more pick here. We're probably going to go wide receiver, 2682 build. We're different, definitely. Kind of ish, unique-ish, I guess. Got some guys after ADP. Don't think I reached too far on many guys other than Julio, but I kind of just went, randomly with these last few picks. Will Fuller, Brian Edwards, Romeo Dubs, all those guys are available to me. Zach Wilson might not even get drafted here. So here's my issue, or here's what I'm afraid of, rather. Since quarterbacks are getting devalued so hard, like this guy is Derek Carr and Tua. Like at least I have like Burrow and Lance, or like this guy's got Wilson and Rodgers. The problem is I don't have. Ooh, do I do this here? I think I'm doing this. This is just a last second, last attempt stack. We've already got Chase and Burrow. We're going for Danny Gray. Danny Gray, not really a well-known guy. Oh, Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings not that great. He's such a Kyle Shanahan wide receiver. Danny Gray is a favorite of Dane Brugler, which if you read The Beast, if you haven't, like a subscription to The Athletic is like just worth that alone. It's fantastic. Read it. Not read it, but read it. Read it. I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read a lot about players and stuff just because I actually went through and looked at some of the rookie wide receivers and kind of just read their profiles and then kind of tried to, based on what I was seeing, mesh that with the offenses that they joined. See, this is kind of, I'll keep talking about this real quick, and kind of mesh with the offenses that they joined. Danny Gray was a personal favorite of Dane Brugler, like kind of like a sneaky sleeper kind of guy. I do think he kind of fits Trey Lance's game pretty well. Good deep ball guy, kind of like a Tyler Lockett-ish, I think is what Brugler described, and I'm entirely sure about that. But he was a guy that I think meshed pretty well. Another guy was Kyle Phillips, who I took at the end of my last draft that I posted on YouTube just before this. Kyle Phillips is kind of like, to sum it up terribly, he's a poor man's Cooper Kupp kind of idea, like where he's quick but not necessarily fast. He's game speed fast. He's a slot guy, shifty, big, tall, and good hands and stuff like that. So Kyle Phillips was a pretty interesting name to me because the wide receiver situation in Tennessee is so up in the air. Treylon Burks fell in this draft. I don't think Robert Woods is going to be as ready as soon as people think. Like most of the guys coming off the ACLs, except for like Dobbins and Gus Edwards, who I've talked about before already, their ACLs happened last offseason. I expect them to be the most ready. And so, him fitting into that Tennessee Titans offense, and just like getting targets, like he's a quick kind of guy. He'll be in the slot. Treylon Burks will probably take AJ Brown's role, maybe, and there's been a lot of talk about his usage in college and how that's going to fit with Tennessee. So I like Kyle Phillips a lot from Tennessee, and I don't think anybody's really talking about him right now. Something I think this came from the Underdog Fantasy Show, but something I was thinking about was, this pick right here in the last rounds. Players like Brian Edwards, who's for sure going to be on the field. How many points he's going to get? Yeah, I get the argument here as to why you wouldn't get excited about Brian Edwards. I've talked about the Falcons already in this episode here. But players like Danny Gray, who are like Khalil Shakir, and there's one other guy. These are guys that are the wide receiver 4 or 5. There's a lot that has to happen in order for them to hit the field and to succeed. That's like a harder bet to make than like us being wrong about like an offense or us being wrong about a player who we know is going to see the field and see opportunity, or at least see snaps. And we could be wrong about that situation, and all of a sudden they're succeeding because they're actually on the field. Where if, like, for example, Danny Gray, like right now it's probably Debo, Ayuk, and then I think they just came out with a report earlier today out of OTAs that Juwan Jennings is the wide receiver 3 in San Francisco. Okay, so now I'm taking a guy who's not even the 6th option in the offense. as my last pick, hoping that like something happens. Like rookie wide receivers struggle under Shanahan, so it does kind of sound like I have some pessimistic viewpoints on players that I've just drafted. Um, I think I talked earlier in the show about why I think Kyle Pitts might be a risky pick. This is just probably a waste of a pick. If it works out, great. But I think in terms of process, this is not what we're looking for with our last round pick. Julio Jones is like a guy you'd want with your last round pick. And I've already talked about his extreme upside plenty of times. Definitely a guy I'm in on. Schwartz is a little bit less egregious than Danny Gray, but we're talking about, like, I took him because he can stretch the field, and I think the same is true for Danny Gray, but Anthony Schwartz's speed is Will Fuller-esque, and I think it's an element that he's going to fit, an element that's necessary to the offense succeeding, and he's going to fill that role immediately, where Danny Gray doesn't necessarily have a role to step into immediately. So all in all, this draft was okay to me. I think the Trey Lance pick was a mistake. I think that's probably where this went off the not went off the rails, but really choked me because it made me not able to take wide receivers. And instead of taking Trey Lance, I could have had a fourth and fifth wide receiver that I feel actually really good about, and I'd still feel good about quarterback. Zach Wilson fell a ton. I would have taken him. You know, maybe I get my hands on Elijah Moore. I would have taken Garrett Wilson, so having Zach Wilson would have been really nice. Another reason Garrett Wilson's ADP should be higher is because you can get Zach Wilson so low, and that's such an easy stack. So, this draft is definitely not my best. Going through, I would say I like my last draft way better. I feel really good about tight ends and quarterbacks. See, I went elite quarterback. If I had gotten Joe Burrow on this team, this would be an unbelievable team, probably the best team I have. I got screwed, and Joe Burrow went like 18 picks before ADP. I had a chance. Still like that I shifted to Kyler Murray. But you can see right here, look at how good I feel about my wide receivers 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. I feel good about my tight end 1 and 2. I feel good about 4 running backs and 2 quarterbacks. This is a really solid team here. It doesn't seem like it's projected a lot, but I'm really honestly pleased with this selection of picks here. This is kind of the extreme of what I was just kind of talking about. You take Joe Burrow, and you get Matt Corral basically as your quarterback too. Don't love it. This team is okay. One where I probably should have taken Higgins, but I did get the Boyd stack. I got Wilson and Olave and DeAndre and AJ and Tyreek. I feel like my wide receivers are so money. I feel fantastic about all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide receivers there. Running backs are definitely top heavy. Not the, I'm okay with that team there. Lamar and Jalen Hurts on this squad with Taylor, Barkley, and Jacobs. I also got A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, Chase Claypool. Wow, this team is pretty interesting, actually. I am not against this team at all. I feel like I've got a lot of really solid players. I feel good about the wide receivers. I took, miss out on Wilson and Olave, but that's okay. This team here, wow, 3 quarterbacks. You don't feel good about that, especially with news that what's his face, Trubisky is probably starting. This team is weird. I can't believe I have 4 tight ends. What happened here? I definitely feel good about all 6 wide receivers. Pretty good. That team is rough. Okay, Brady and Lance, Jones and Dillon and Penny, Henderson. I like that team. Or I like those running backs. Wow. Wide receivers, I don't know why I stopped drafting them. I think because I thought Michael Thomas was going to be something. Look at that. Look, Gronkowski and Freiermuth's ADPs have completely flipped over on themselves. Well, I'm set at tight end, I guess. That's yikes. Let's look at my first one. Lance, Wilson, Pickett, Wilson's ADP is just falling, and I don't understand why. I like this collection of running backs here. The wide receivers aren't bad. Oh wow, Mark Andrews and Darren Waller. That's pretty interesting. So I would say this one here is probably my best team so far. It's kind of interesting, but I like some of the options there. Okay, I've got to stop talking because this has gone far longer than I expected it to. One of the weirdest drafts I feel like I've ever participated in. Guys getting taken left and right, above and below where they should have, even 20 spots above and below. If you have been listening up to this point, man, you are a soldier. Thank you for doing so. And it must mean you really like me, I guess. So thanks. I will be back again. I'm going to post this video tonight. I'll be back again. I got to slow down on this drafting. So maybe I'll start doing some of these team previews and stuff like that. Maybe just go over some strategy stuff. Maybe talk about rankings as we shift into home leagues, home league season. My home league is having what I'm calling the summit coming up here on Monday, where we kind of just talk about rule changes, kind of like I think that's what they call it at the MLB, the winter summits or something. So maybe I'll talk about rankings then because it'll be on my mind, my home league. So thank you for listening. I might kind of fall off in recording here. Summer school is happening. I am a teacher, by the way. I teach high school science. And I guess that explains why I'm trying to have a scientific approach to fantasy football. So, one last time, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have been watching, subscribe, leave me a comment, something. I don't know. Ask me a question if you're even there, if you've even gotten to this point. Just say hi, because I know maybe somebody's actually watching. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon.